Okay guys, JZ here with Sweet Whiskers. It is Thursday night and I am recording Fun Fact Friday for you for tomorrow because tomorrow is Friday and I'm taking the day off because I'm so anxious. I have a follow-up appointment with my oncologist and so I just need some me time. I gotta focus on me. And so I wanted to give you guys something for the day, right? So I'm not grooming today in the salon. And I'm taking the weekend off because I'm going to go visit my twin sister and give her some help around her house. So I'm taking the weekend off. But don't worry, we've got extra days coming up in the salon here in December. Anyhow, so today's fun fact, I really want to talk about this because it's such a cool thing. And as a biologist by training, that's where my degree is actually in. I just think this is wildly cool. And so I want to bring it to you guys. The purpose and structure of these papillae, and when you look at this tongue, it is so cool to look up close. These little backwards facing barbs, really, they're made of keratin, which is like the same thing that's made up in like your fingernails or their toenails. It's a very firm protein structure and it gives that rough sandpapery vibe to it. It's responsible for a lot of different functions, but I wanted to talk about two specific functions. One with grooming, and I'm gonna say that loosely, but grooming and with manipulation. So like being able to pick up food and rotate objects and actually rotate objects within their mouth. They have a lot of gripping power with these papillae, which is just wildly cool. I wish we could like, I don't know, watch it on the inside. That'd be so cool, like see-through mouth. That's the nerd in me. All right, so let's go back to loosely grooming. What does that actually mean? So a lot of people, you know, that common myth of cats groom themselves because they're licking. And so I say loosely because I think cats, when they're licking, these papillae structures do a great job of taking hair that's not tangled and laying down the structures to align with each other. They're fantastic at that. It's like taking a slicker brush on a dog's fur coat. It does the same action. Where it has some struggles with it though is that it can only do the surface level. It has a really bad time getting down to the skin level. Where this comes to be a problem is if there's something on the surface of the skin like dirt or debris. Surface level, it gets some dirt and debris, that's fine. That's why people visually say, oh, the cat's getting itself clean. Now it's also laying down so I go behind it, so clean, but you know what I mean. So it does lay down the fiber structures in a line, and if it's not tangled, you see the cat, especially if it's an over groomer, sometimes they can actually lick away all their fur, but they can line up the structures and keep it from matting, the typical matting tangling that you guys see when I post big pictures of a matted or pelted cat. And so sometimes you won't see that for the duration of the cat's life until they get to an older age and maybe they can't reach as far or they don't do as much of this grooming behavior. And I really want to stop and say, let's not call it grooming, let's call it preening. And that's a lot closer to like what a duck does in terms of preening. Is they take their pin feathers, they spread the oil from the surface of the pin feather out to give them like a waterproofing. This is essentially what a cat is trying to do with their coat, is to remove dirt and debris, but waterproof with spreading the oils. And so when you have a cat that's really short haired, like your Sphinxes, your Devon Rexes and things like that, their coats are so short that the tongue is actually touching the surface of the skin in terms of it's able to get a lot more dirt and debris, larger dirt and debris off. And so yes, they're cleaner in that sense. They are actually not that clean though when it comes to, they have so much more oil because they don't have the fur to help distribute it. And so they actually are more greasy than a furred cat, which kind of surprises people. These papillae structures, when they try and lick those fur and lay those fibers in a parallel pattern, they can keep from tangling. However, when they repeatedly do that in one area, you see that it gets, if you ever watch a cat do this, it gets more and more saliva packed on that one area, right? And so it actually has a hard time penetrating all the way down to the bottom of the coat for this. And so you still see on especially like long-haired cats where it's really hard to penetrate that coat. You see a lot of like if they've ever had fleas, that flea dirt still stuck to them. You have to actually like mechanically, physically wash that off. Whether you're using a professional groomer like our services, or if you're doing it at home yourself, it actually takes getting down to the skin surface and cleaning it, preferably with like a really great degreasing shampoo so that it actually gets to the skin surface and breaks up those oils. Honestly, do we really need cats with waterproofing on their coats with the oil distribution? It's a huge debate to some people. Personally, if your cat's an indoor only cat, no, it's just attracting all the litter dust from your litter pan. And if I'm gonna snuggle with a cat right up here, I want it to be clean, and I don't want to be inhaling a bunch of dust or the FeLD1 protein dander from their saliva. That all said, when our cats are licking themselves like that repeatedly with the papillae structures, they are actually ingesting some of that fur. Just by the nature, like mechanically removing that fur, that papillae acts like that sandpaper, and it does do a pretty good job removing some of that surface level, already dead, blown out coat. Now, when we comb out our cats, we do a lot of that mechanical removing from them, in place of that for them. When their tongue is doing it, that's how they're ingesting it, and we're getting what we all commonly know as hairballs, right? And so when we have cats that really struggle with hairballs, we see excessive grooming habits. We also see excessive amounts of oil or grease in their coats. And so that bath becomes so critical. Whether that's professional or again at home, you guys can do this too. If you're bathing and blow drying and combing your cat, you're physically removing a bulk of that hair, and then they don't have to work so hard and or have the physical effects of the hair going through their tract or end up spitting up, and sometimes it can get really bad and they can get hairball compaction surgeries. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Just that gripping, manipulating power of these papillae and the ability to kind of act like a comb and that preening behavior that they have, and just how wildly cool these structures are. They are a really tough protein structure. That keratin is amazing, and I just think it's really cool. I personally don't like the texture of being licked by a cat with that sandpaper. It's a little bit sensory overwhelm for me, but it is a really cool thing to know about. So drop down in the comments if you guys can think of something else you would like to learn about with cats, or if you have a curiosity, and I'm gonna try and spit out all the knowledge I've got for you guys on these Fun Fact Friday series, and hopefully we'll have some fun with this.